Alrighty, hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, I am Cryptic Coil, and in today's video, I have another book haul for you guys. I got some pretty cool stuff this time around. I mean, I always get pretty cool stuff, but nevertheless, before I jump into this book haul, I kind of want to show you something. So, as some of you know, um, I'm into heavy metal. I play a little bit of guitar. I'm not very good at all, but there's another YouTube channel that I absolutely love. It's called Guitar Guts. And what the guy does on that channel is he buys old cheap guitars, and then he sands them down, repaints them, upgrades the hardware, upgrades the electronics, and then he sells them for a profit. Sometimes he keeps them for himself. Well, he got me into doing that. And I'm working on a couple of guitars right now, and I'm on the verge of getting this guitar, rewired and everything. So I just want to show it to you guys. So it's not perfect at all, but this is my first rebuild, okay? And so this is actually an LTD by ESP guitar. The model number is an M100FM. You can see it right there on the neck, M-100FM. And what inspired this guitar was Count Dracula, actually. So Dracula was in love with this woman named Mina Harker. And spoiler alert, he never got to be with her. They killed him. And she ended up marrying, or well, she was already married to some loser. I think he was a vampire hunter or something. And he, or, well, anyway, but there's a whole group of Dracula fans who wished that the story would have ended differently. They wished that Dracula, could have gotten to be with her, and they would have gotten married, and she would have been his countess. She would have been Countess Mina. And so that's what I named this guitar, and that's what it says on the headstock. It says Countess Mina by ESP. And I actually bought the decal for the headstock off of Guitar Guts. But this did not turn out perfect. I mean, it didn't. One thing that I think was cool was that, the blood drip, kind of, went all the way to the bottom, over here. And I think that it's cool that it went past the pickup cavities here and here. Over here, it went straight to the bottom. I think that's really cool. I like the fact that it's, totally red here, and then it goes back into white. One of the problems is the overspray. That's kind of where you get the pinkish, hue on the white. And then the buddy that I was working on this with, he decided that, we should wet sand it. So I ended up getting some more pink on the body, or on the white in other places. You can't really see it. you can't really see it in this lighting, but so this didn't turn out perfect, but a splatter paint job like this doesn't really have to be. And it is my first, rebuild, so I'm not too worried about the imperfections. There's kind of a cliche that the imperfections give it character. I'll just go with that this time. But yeah, I can't wait to get this rewired, and I can't wait to get the hardware installed on it. I think that I'm going to tune this one down to E flat, so just a half step down. I'm primarily not primarily, kind of primarily an 80s hair metal guy, and a lot of 80s hair metal uses E flat tuning. But then again, this is pretty brutal for hair metal. So I don't know. I do need an E flat guitar though, so I think that for at least for now, I'm gonna go with that. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you guys. So let me move on to the book haul. So the first book that I want to show off is this one. It's called Beware, And this is it's not written by R.L. Stein per se. So what it is R.L. Stein picks his favorite scary stories, and I like that you kind of got this like gremlin, creeping behind a tombstone, and let me just read the back. So you have a story by Ray Bradbury called The Black Ferris. R.L. Stein actually has a short story on here, and it's called The Surprise Guest. And then he has another one called Joe Was Not a Monster. There's a couple of Shel Silverstein stories. One is called Haunted, and the other one is called Blood Curdling Story. The Girl Who Stood on a Grave by Alvin Schwartz, and Harold by Alvin Schwartz as well. And so those are just a couple of short stories that are in this book. There are some illustrations. Let me show you an example. All right, so there's this one. I found it at a thrift store. It wasn't even in the right section, so whenever you go thrifting for books, be sure to kind of look around everywhere, because it's kind of amazing what you'll find out of place. Like maybe they'll have a horror section, but then you find a Christopher Pike book in the science fiction section or whatever. Ask me how I know. So this other book that I want to show off, I found me another Mighty Morphin Power Rangers book. This is the second Power Rangers book I've found. I used to read these in third grade. And this one used to belong to some dude named Harold. And there's a short story by Alvin Schwartz called Harold in this book. So that's pretty interesting. Let me move on real quick. So I've hauled a few of these over the years. This one is called Christina'S Ghost by Betty Wren Wright. And I think that this is the one in the best condition that I've ever found one of these books. So, the spine is like perfect. The cover is perfect. The other ones that I have, not so much. So I just kind of bought it for that reason. I found this book, and this looks like it's probably middle grade, I'm guessing, and it's called Ghost Hotel by Larry Weinberg, and it's got a pretty cool cover. I like that. I like that kind of Victorian style hotel building. It probably takes place in the winter because there's no leaves on the trees. You have this ghostly looking face right here. That's a pretty cool looking cover. There is a tagline on the front which reads, "There are plenty of secrets in this old hotel." And I'll go ahead and read the summary on the back. Anna, an adopted child, has always wondered who her real parents are. When Anna and her family check into a strange old hotel, Anna meets the ghostly Colonel and Mrs. Terwilliger. Her resemblance to the couple's missing daughter is eerie, especially since the young girl disappeared over 140 years ago. Unable to resist the lure of the past, Anna is drawn back in time to the danger-filled days of the Underground Railroad, which helps runaway slaves to freedom. Here, Anna discovers the mystery of her childhood, a mystery that must be solved if Anna is ever to find her way home again. Okay, that sounds pretty dope. Speaking of dope, I found this really old copy of a Bram Stoker book called The Garden of Evil. And there's a lot going on that cover, but it's really cool looking. They printed the original price, 60 cents, if you can see that right there. That's cool. Let's oh my gosh, this is in like mint condition. There's a little stamp right there that reads November 30th, 1966. But it's printed in the European date format. And this book has like clearly never really been opened because it just doesn't really want to open. And it reads first printing May 1966. I wonder if this is worth some money. Um, so, was Bram Stoker even alive in 1966? Wouldn't he have kind of been long gone? Okay, well, so this is a paperback library edition, so maybe that's why it says 1966. No disrespect to Mr. Stoker, but he had to have been long gone by then. And I don't say that like, gleefully by any means. Um, yeah, so this looks really interesting. I'm glad to have it. I'll have to look into it and see if it's like worth anything. Just out of curiosity. Then I also picked up this book, and it's called The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker. And I know that similar content creators in this space are fans of this and have read this. I've seen it like on Kelsey from Slime and Slasher's channel before. I don't know if it's the same copy or not, but this is in really good condition. It's got a really good, healthy spine. The cover's not beat up or anything. The font in this is actually really big, so this isn't a very big book. I've never read any Clive Barker, but real quick, let me look into this. So this was the Hellbound Heart was originally copyrighted in 1986. That's the year I was born, so this is definitely vintage horror. Let me go ahead and read the summary on the back. There's not a tagline on the front. So the summary on back reads, Frank Cotton's insatiable appetite for the dark pleasures of pain led him to the puzzle of Lemarchand's box, and from there to a death only and from there to a death only a sick-minded soul could invent. But his brother's love-crazed wife, Julia, has discovered a way to bring Frank back, though the price will be bloody and terrible, and there will certainly be hell to pay. This sounds to me like it was one of the Hellraiser ones that I saw. I haven't seen all the Hellraiser movies. In fact, I've only seen one, and it wasn't the first one. But this sounds like that. Anyway, yeah, I would like to read that one. I found a Goosebumps Horrorland book, and this is number 3 in the series, and it's called Monster Blood for Breakfast. And that's a pretty interesting cover. You have this little boy trapped inside the monster blood, and the monster blood, takes on like kind of a human characteristic, like there is a face. The little boy's inside trying to eat his Fruit Loops. So that's an interesting cover. Let's go ahead and read the back. I'm just looking to see if there's like any stickers or anything inside. Nope. All right. So, for an athlete like Matt Daniels, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's also the most dangerous. That's because somebody is about to pull a mean prank. The recipe is simple. Just add monster blood. As if Matt's problems weren't big and slimy enough, a surprise invitation will lead to even more trouble. How long can Matt survive inside a terrifying theme park? Not very long if his friends keep disappearing. I haven't read any of the Horrorland books. I don't know if I'm going to or not, but it is kind of fun collecting them. All right, so I also the rest of these are going to be pretty cool. So real quick, I have the third horror in the 99 Fear Street series. This is the only book I was missing, so I now have this collection completed. I have the first and the second horror already. Now I have the third horror. I'm a little upset because this cover is actually kind of beat up and everything. I bought it on eBay, and I bought it from one of those eBay stores where they sell, mass amounts of like paperback books, and they don't take pictures of the actual book to show you like what the condition is that you're buying that book in. They just use stock photos, and I just kind of took their word for it that it was in good condition, and I guess I can see where they were coming from with that, but to me, this is not good condition. To me, this is acceptable condition. To me, this is reading copy worthy, not collector's worthy. And so this is not going to be my collector's copy. This is going to be my reading copy. So that was annoying. And so then I picked up book number 2 in the Fear Street Saga series, House of Whispers. Now, this is only like my 5th book in that series. I'm working on trying to complete this collection, but this is going to be an expensive collection to collect. And this one's in pretty good condition. I'm happy with this. And now that I've got the third Fear Street or the third horror in the 99 Fear Street series, and as also due to the fact that I'm working on this Fear Street Saga series, the only Fear Street series that I need to finish collecting is like I think it's a Return to Fear Street. I thought I had Drop Dead Gorgeous. I don't, and I think there's 2 more in that series that I don't have. So I need to finish collecting that side. I need to finish collecting that series, and then I need to finish collecting this series, and then I will have all the Fear Street books. So yeah. Let's move on to the next one. So this was a really cool find, and I feel like I've seen this before on someone else's channel. And it's called On the Devil's Court by Carl Duker. So you have this like, you have this boy playing basketball, and then there's this demonic face on the basketball. And basketball is my favorite sport. As far as like, sports ball is concerned, basketball's really the only one I care about. The NBA anyway. Go San Antonio Spurs, go Spurs, go. There's a tagline on this book or on this cover, and it reads, "Give me a full season of power and my soul is yours." So it looks like this is a retelling of Faust, but it pertains to basketball. So let's read the summary on the back. My heart was racing. I heard a clap of thunder and raindrops pounded on the metal roof. The gym grew darker and a strange mist seemed to fill it. An eerie thought came to me. The mist somehow held the devil. I didn't want to fall under its spell, so I dribbled once and took a jump shot. It was so perfect that the spin on the ball carried it right back into my hands. I shot again, and back the ball came. A third, then a fourth. I knew it couldn't be just me shooting. With each shot, the mist thickened. A 7th, an 8th. It was an incredible feeling to be able to do it all so effortlessly. I think that's why I made the vow. Had Joe imagined it all? He had never succeeded at anything until now. Suddenly, everything has changed. Joe is playing varsity basketball. He's gone from being a C student to straight A's. He's popular at school. He's able to stand up to his father. Life is going Joe's way. But did he make a bargain too terrible to keep? That sounds like super cool. I like it. I mean, I like Faust and the Ralph Macchio movie Crossroads, and the movie with Andy Biersack, American Satan. So I mean, I kind of like these like sell your soul to the devil and then you know look for redemption stories. So it says that this book was copyrighted in 1988, and this was printed by Avon Flair, and the first printing under Avon Flair was September of 1991. So this is definitely vintage. And I just love the fact that they have to put that disclaimer that the characters and events portrayed in this book are fictitious. Any similarities to real persons, living or dead, are coincidental and not intended by the author. Thanks for the disclaimer. I needed that because I was wondering. All right. Then I got this book. So this is not a point horror, but it is by Richie Tinkersley Cusick, and it's called The Locker. And I don't know if I'm still gonna call that step back art, even though there's no like cutouts here on the cover or anything. I'm still gonna call that step back art, and that's a pretty cool photo of a young or a young woman or a teenage girl, whatever. And the book is called The Locker, and look at that cover. You have like this dead looking creature inside the locker, and the tagline on the front reads, "Is someone reaching for help from the grave?" And the tagline or the summary on the back reads, "After the nightmarish death of her parents, Marley Fleming was starting over, a new school, a happy life. But her new friends Tyler and Noreen acted strangely when they saw the locker she'd been assigned. They said it had belonged to Sue Ellen, who had mysteriously disappeared. The moment Marley opened the locker and saw the horrifying vision, she was afraid. Afraid of the future, afraid of her own premonitions, of powers she tried to deny. With a thrill of terror, Marley knew she'd been chosen to find Sue Ellen, even at the cost of her own life." So that sounds pretty interesting, and it is nice to have another book to add to my Richie Tinkersley Cusick collection. And then I have this book, and I don't remember where I got it. I don't know if I found it at a thrift store or if I ordered it online. I think I found it at a thrift store. And this is Mother's Helper by A. Bates. And I don't have very many A. Bates books. I know I have The Dead Game, and and I think I might have one other, but this is a pretty eerie looking cover. I mean, so you have a bedroom with a baby's crib, you have a teddy bear, no baby in the crib. The light is turned off in the room. The door is creaked open, and light from the hallway is coming into the room. And the tagline reads, "Rocka bye bye, baby." Okay, let's read the summary on back. Her dream job is about to turn into a nightmare. Becky can hardly believe it. Spending the summer as a mother's helper on a romantic island, earning money for college and working on her tan at the same time. What a lucky break. Too bad, Becky's luck is about to change. Soon the accidents will start happening and the phone calls. Suddenly, Becky's island paradise will seem more like a prison. Becky will be plenty scared then. Mother's helper is going to need all the help she can get. That sounds interesting. It does. I mean, the cover is pretty cool. So I have another Sinclair Smith book, and this time it's Amnesia. And once again, I ordered it from one of those stores on eBay where they just showed me a stock photo. They didn't show me what I was actually buying. They said it was in good condition. It's an ex-library copy. I tried peeling the sticker off. It caused damage to the cover. Tried peeling that sticker off. It caused damage to the cover. So the cover's pretty beat up. I'm not very happy about it. The spine is actually pretty healthy though, but once again, this is a book that I will use as a reading copy, okay? So here you have, a young woman. She's like in bed, and the title of the book is Amnesia. Okay, the young woman in bed, she looks scared. Let's read the tagline on the front. What you don't remember can kill you. And here's the summary on back. Who am I? Alicia's nightmare isn't over when she wakes up. In fact, it's just beginning. Alicia has amnesia. She doesn't even recognize her own face in the mirror. Now, all that Alicia has left is her sister. When Marta comes to take her home from the hospital, Alicia thinks that her nightmare is coming to an end. Marta will help her get her memory back. But Alicia soon learns that there's something Marta doesn't want her to remember. Her amnesia hides a terrifying secret. Alicia is afraid to remember. She could be dead if she doesn't. And that sounds good. I remember a number of, when I was in high school, I went to Hastings. Rest in peace, Hastings. I miss Hastings. But I rented a movie from there when I was in high school, and it was a B movie. It was a horror B movie, and the plot was pretty much the exact same thing, except it was a woman who had gotten out of a mental institution. She had suffered something traumatic in her childhood, and she ended up getting out of the mental institution, and she had amnesia. And I think I've seen a few movies with a similar plot, and so I'm guessing I already know how this ends. And I do have one more book to show off, and then I can wrap up this video. The final book is Party Line by A. Bates. So it is not, and I ordered this one online. So it is nice to have another A. Bates book in my collection, even though I've never read one. And oh my gosh, this is so like late 80s, early 90s. The colors, just the phone with the cord. So the tagline on the front reads, "Your next phone call could be your last." And a great condition. Okay, so this was made in 1989. And let's read the summary on back, and then we'll go ahead and end the video. Some talk, some listen, some disappear. Mark can't stop calling the party line. It's easier to talk to girls when nobody knows who you are. But something weird is going on. One by one, girls are disappearing, and Mark is convinced it has something to do with the party line. Who is the smooth talker he keeps hearing over and over? The one with the low, creepy voice. Mark knows he's heard that voice before. Could it be his friend Todd, or Robbie, or a teacher? It's someone Mark knows, all right. Someone he would never have guessed, and unless Mark can stop him, he'll find his next victim the same way he found all the others, on the party line. I don't know if that sounds good or not. I mean, it sounds okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with this haul. Some of these books, I got online. Some of them I found at thrift stores. On the Devil's Court, that one was really cool, because in a way I feel like I've seen it on YouTube before. I know someone else in this space has it. But like mine is in mint condition, and I mean it just seems like a really fun read. So that one was really exciting, and it was nice to complete my 99 Fear Street collection. I do think I want to read this Clive Barker and the Bram Stoker one. That was a really cool find as well. And the Power Rangers one. That one was pretty dope. Okay. All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these in the comment section below, and let me know which one you think was like the coolest pickup or the coolest find. All right, thank you guys for watching. Horns up. Peace out.